This is the most expensive Tata car ever. This is also the fastest Indian car, and this is the only Indian electric car to get all-wheel drive. This is the Tata Harrier EV, and it has a lot of tech which makes it absolutely crazy. But before we start, let me show you this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve Superman. It is the latest car perfume from Involve Your Senses from their superhero collection. I love Superman, and this is actually an aqua fragrance which is really fresh. It's strong, nice, and makes the car smell awesome. In fact, this is loved by almost everybody, and you can get yours with a 10% discount using coupon code FASTBEAM. It's super easy to regulate, and after I open it here, see, it does not leak at all. It's just freaking awesome, and this can is also so cool now. It's like a collector's item for me. I am definitely going to put it on my desk. Now coming to the car, I'm straight away going to be turning it on using the key here, because this key has got 11 functions. So all I have to do is keep this button pressed, and once I do that, the car will turn on. Now there are going to be certain glitches because the key is not that great, and I'll tell you why. Okay, there, the car has turned on, the mirrors are moving and all those things are happening, but I can't see the ignition yet. Yeah, the buttons are like really super hard. Come on Tata, you could have done a better job, because every time okay, there it turns on. It's in a mind of its own, bro. What is happening there? It shows Tata EV everywhere. Now the car is on. Now I'm going to use this button to actually move the car. There should be some sound. There the mirrors are, I mean, the car is doing a lot of things, and now I can move the car ahead and behind. So yes, these cars now, the rival to this car as well as this car, can be moved using the key. That is so damn awesome. There it is moving. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, there's nobody inside. It's doing that. In fact, if I choose a button here, there's a process to do that. Then this car can also self-park. That is kind of crazy. But the buttons, they are so damn hard. I don't know why the buttons are so damn hard, because I have to keep them pressed, and then I am actually messed up. I wanted to take it behind, I've taken it ahead. Yeah, the buttons are like really damn hard, because of which my fingers of truth are now becoming fingers of pain. I need you to come back. There you can hear the sound. There the reverse gear gets engaged, and the car is now coming behind. Fantastic, really cool feature, which is helpful if you have sit lying around, so you don't want to climb on that. So you just use the key to actually move the car ahead and behind. This feature actually works quite well. I am very surprised. Anyways, the door is still locked, so I have to unlock the door using this button. I know I've done a walk around, but today I'm going to be showing you features which I could not last time. I'm going to keep this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses right here in the center. The car is on. Let's turn on the lights. Let's turn on the hazard. Let's open the hood as well and turn on the front and rear fogs too. Straight away, I'm going to be opening the frunk of this vehicle. Because it's an electric car, it has a usable frunk, which happens to be around, oh god, how do I do this? Yeah, there, oh my god, the hood is super duper heavy. There's insulation there, it does not need it. And here you've got frunk storage, which is 67 liters, which is nice, actually quite useful as such. Everything is very nicely concealed here. Yeah, that is where the washer fluid goes in. Yeah, beautifully concealed, and bang, it closes. Now in terms of design, it's a little different from the regular Harrier. You obviously get the LED DRL, which has the welcome and goodbye animation. The bumper has been changed. Something has actually gone and stuck there. It's a pan ka wrapper there. No, that's not going to get focused. 6 parking sensors at the front, because obviously it has got the self-park function. There's a camera here. The grille is closed, and the bumper is quite open so that the battery can breathe. In fact, it has got active air curtains. This is very much active. This is the main light. This is actually the fog light. It gets the dynamic swipe function for the indicator. The color looks nice. This is actually a silver or a gray color. The length of this car is 4.6 meters. The wheelbase is slightly more than 2.7 meters. So yes, this is a long car in terms of size. And the wheels, they are also big. However, I do not like the design of the alloy wheels. Very EV centric design. 245, 55, 19 is the size of the tires. It says .EV here. There's a camera here. It reflects something from here at night as well. Meanwhile, there is a camera there. There's a rain sensor as well. You get a roof rail right there, and if you have the NFC key, all you need to do is tap it here. Right here, if you tap the NFC key, you can unlock the car. That's also cool. Request sensor on both the sides, which is fantastic, and charging happens from here. So this is where the charging port is. Yeah, that's a good place to have, not in the front, because in case of a collision, that is going to get damaged first, and front collisions happen very frequently actually. And there is the shark fin antenna, which actually has a camera inside, which is nice. In fact, Tata says that 20% of accidents happen in parking. That's the reason this car has got automatic parking and all those things. In fact, there's an active air curtain here as well, which is quite cool. This is the rear fog. This is the reversing light, and you get the dynamic swipe indicator. Again, welcome and goodbye animations at the rear too. 6 parking sensors, little different bumper, and you get a camera here, white color for the Tata logo. Says Harrier.EV right there. You get a rear wiper washer. Lot of stickers like vocal for local. They say 80% of localization has happened other than the sensors, but a lot of parts obviously come from China. This is the safety rating of this car. Full 5 stars. You get a high mounted stop lamp. You get a rear spoiler as well. And fingers of truth cannot hunt for exhaust because this is an electric car, but the rear suspension has been changed, because of which it's actually nice. Auto brakes, keep distance. So let me go behind and keep distance. By the way, there's the Easter egg as well. Let's open the boot, which is 502 liters. Problem is now the floor is a bit high here. This is the charging cable of the vehicle, and you can opt for a faster AC charger as well. Press this button to open the charging port, I believe. That's like a fail safe. There's a hook here. Meanwhile, there's a speaker right there. It says Harrier.EV on the carpet here, and the spare wheel is not an alloy. It's 155/90/18 white colored wheel, which looks nice. However, it's smaller size. There is the toolkit, and I think the warning triangle and the jack and the rose, everything is there. Power tailgate, press a button and there it shuts. That's smooth, that's nice. Straight away, let's get inside. It says QWD dual motor, which is very misleading because quad wheel drive means there are 4 electric motors. This car has 2 electric motors for this particular variant. Otherwise, it's rear wheel drive. There's a sunblind here. Meanwhile, it has these nice shells here, which makes it quite practical. Nice leather treatment as well, and speaker placement here, tweeter placement here. There's no one touch, but it has illumination. The seat can be folded in 60/40 format. So if you want to increase the boot carrying capacity, you can do that. And AC vent placement here as well as not here. Okay, there's some storage space here. This is for the adjustment of the lumbar, which is manual. So you can keep stuff here if you want. USB-C, 65 watt, that's fast charging. Flat floor. In fact, you sit 40 mm higher at the rear, because of which you get theater style seating here. And this seat is quite behind. How do I move it ahead? Simple. It has got electric boss mode. Using these buttons, I can move the seat ahead, which gives me more space. In fact, space at the rear is good. However, under thigh support is not the best. In fact, headroom seems adequate enough. You get height adjustable seat belts at the front. Airbags, hook, handle, light placement here on the top as well. So it's got good amount of space. Knee room and leg room is good. Foot room is also good. Under thigh support is not the best. However, this seat is a bit too upright and does not recline at all. So that's not very comfortable. Magazine holder here. Magazine holder here as well. Isofix child seat mounts. Center passenger gets a proper seat belt but does not get a head. There's no headrest in the center, which is disappointing. Twin cup holder, center armrest. And this is nicely designed. Yeah, the headrest here, very comfy. I quite like it. The dashboard looks quite impressive. However, there are certain things which could be better. Now let me shut this. Yeah, doors are fine. Anyways, here it tells you the blind spot. Meanwhile, it gets 4-way adjust for the co-passenger, and the glove box is big enough. However, it also gets a shelf along with the light, which is kind of nice as well. There it goes. Shuts properly, and then the car keeps honking randomly. Doesn't honk as much as the other Tata cars. It's not a very horny car in that sense. That's kind of nice. Okay, let's get inside. Now, the driver's seat actually gets 6-way adjust, and it has got 3 memory functions as well. This is the button for seat ventilation, which is not very much visible, and it's very difficult to use. Plus, it's not so illuminated that you can spot it clearly when the sun is bright, and when you turn it on, it does not show it to you in the screen as well. So yes, the placement could be better here. And it says start stop because that is the engine start button there. Now you have an umbrella holder here, which makes it quite practical. Door pockets are big enough at the front, but I don't know who has put pen marks here. This is a brand new car. What level of QC are we having here that it is having pen marks? Okay, this is one touch up and down placement of the outside rear view mirrors here, but they should be somewhere there. That will be more ergonomic. In fact, you can turn off the passenger airbag, because to do that, there is the switch. Yeah, that's kind of hidden. Anyways, oh my goodness. Let's shut the door, which does not shut properly on first go. You have to give it a nice whack as such. And let's turn off the indicators. Now, this car has a lot of crazy features. For starters, I love this blue stitching on the seats, which is quite premium. Air conditioning is on right now, it auto turned on, I think. And this is a touch panel, which is not the best to use, unfortunately. You've got a lot of buttons: rear fog, front fog, this to open the charging port, lock the car, 360-degree parking camera, and this is, I think, the cruise control for low speed, which is known as Traction Pro. Yeah, it was saying Traction Pro. Yeah, that is the thing. Air conditioning controls, physical switches, at least for the temperature, dual zone climate control, air conditioning system. So this is fine, but piano black finishing. However, quality levels could be better because this is a new car. This is already coming out. Can you freaking believe it? I mean, it's not a big deal if such a thing comes out, but usually comes out after like 4-5 years. Even in German cars it comes out, but 4-5 years it takes. Here though it has come out in a brand new car. That's the reason they still have this tape to secure it. Now you see that panel does not align properly. And if I open this, there's a mirror here with a light, but the light does not get activated unless and until you push it ahead. So slightly better QC is expected. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. There should have been a mirror and light here. It's not, which again is disappointing. And this switch has to be used very sweetly because if you press it too fast, then this glass also, there it opened. I know a lot of brands are using only one switch, but most of them work properly. Here in Tata cars, it does not, because it ends up opening the sunroof and I just want to open the blind and then it brings in a lot of airy feeling here. Now thankfully I was able to close it very smoothly and there it shuts. So yeah, massive panoramic sunroof, which is amazing. Light placement here on the top. Again, quality of the lights could be better. Now you have this digital screen, which is fantastic because when I turn it off, I see a normal rearview mirror. When I turn it on, it says Tata Motors connecting aspirations. Chalu ho ja bhai. Now it's not going to turn on in front of the camera. Oh, don't do this to me. Yeah, and it has an SD card, 64 GB SD card as well, which goes somewhere here. And you know what, whenever it turns on, there it says Tata Motors connecting aspirations. Whenever it turns on, it starts automatically recording. It will record for 30 minutes and then it will start overwriting your recording. And these are the buttons here, so you can actually zoom it, you can lock it, you can take a picture, you can, I mean, I don't know why you turn on the QR code, but you can do that to access the files. And it's a bit difficult, but then you have got multiple views as well, including from the side cameras, and then you can get into settings, you can do a lot of things, including turning on the mic as well. So yeah, this is actually quite useful, but I want to get out of this. Just not got used to it. Once you get used to it, I think that should be fine. Now you've got cup holders here, you've got cooling function here, 12-volt charging socket, USB-A, USB-C as well. That is actually the dongle for the internet, so that I can show you the connected car bit. This slides ahead and behind. Electric parking brake, auto hold function, gear lever. That is a wireless charging pad. The position is such now you have to really figure your way out to put your phone. USB-A, USB-C, 45 watt. They should have given it 65 watt. I don't know why they keep changing the ratings front and back. And this is actually the selector of the drive mode, which is quite premium with this knurled finishing here. Meanwhile, this is for the various drive modes of this car. This is the boost mode, this is for the city or eco mode, and this is for the sport mode, and this is for self park. So when I press this button, it will tell me fasten your seat belt, shift vehicle to D. It does all the precondition check. In fact, the door is open, it will tell close the driver door as well. So it's very smart to understand what exactly are you doing. So let's just buckle up here. Now with the seat belt up, it says shift vehicle to D. And now it's searching for parking, or I can actually go and decide I want to park where. So I will just say I want to park here, just let me park here. And before that, now before you decide where you want to park, now the best part about this car is that it lets you also move the arrow. So supposing I decide, okay, let me actually just move it around, so I can move it like this, which is nice. I can rotate it as well. Fantastic. Yeah. And then once the car is ready, you can do it. And now you can also get out of the car, and then keeping this button pressed, this one, the park button pressed, you can actually remote park from the outside, just in case there's a puddle or it's too close to another car. That is also very much possible. So that's a fantastic feature. Now this key, I didn't tell you about it. It's not the easiest to use. So this is to turn on the light, this is to lock the car, this is to unlock the car, this is to open the trunk, this is to go behind, this is to go ahead. When doing self park, this is to turn on the self park, and this is to turn on the vehicle. Yeah, the key could have been better. Very hard buttons. Auto park assist aborted here. Now this is a 14.5 inch screen. It's huge. It's the first Neo QLED screen in the automobile industry. It is absolutely amazing in terms of the display, but not the slickest to use, because sometimes it tends to lag a bit. But before we come into the screen, let me adjust the steering wheel, which is adjustable both for reach as well as rake here. And this Tata logo is illuminated, so yes, that is kind of cool, but this thing does not align all the time. And the horn should be pressed from here, because when you press it from here, it will become fingerprint magnet. It's also difficult to use. A lot of controls here, because obviously it has got cruise control, adaptive cruise control. These are the controls for the audio system. And then in order to browse through this screen, this particular screen, which is a 10.25 inch unit, you use these buttons. Now this steering has already got dirty. In 900 kilometers, how is it got dirty? I simply fail to understand. You get automatic wipers, you get automatic headlights as well. And the AC vents are like typical AC vents, nothing fancy there, but it says airbag here, it says airbag in multiple locations. Let's do one thing, let's focus on that particular screen, because that screen has a lot of information. You can obviously see the tire pressure monitor, service reminder, and then you can come into the energy flow, you get a histogram as well, come into media, then you have navigation, and then you can obviously pair it with your phone as well to see crazy navigation, energy information, come into settings and change a lot of stuff, trip meters, range, driver assist system, attention monitor. So yes, that's loaded, and you can also change the cluster. Yes, it has got multiple views as well. There's a single dial, there's a double dial as well, so that can be changed as well. And every time you change the drive mode, now it will show it to you right here. So there it's showing rock crawl, it's showing me custom drive mode. You can keep changing them and you can keep seeing them in the instrument cluster itself. In fact, this rotates all the way. So once you come to custom, if you keep rotating, it will come back to the regular drive mode. Yes, normal drive mode, it comes back to that as well. City drive mode activated. I'll show you a funky feature. Let me push this from the top, swipe it, and then there is a drift mode and it says drift mode activated. That's kind of crazy if it works, that is. Anyways, so slick screen here. When you come to the air conditioning, you can operate everything digitally as well. Let's turn off the air conditioning system. There's an AQI monitor as well, and it has got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, both of which work wirelessly. JBL speakers have good audio quality here. In fact, here it says NFC, so once you open the car using the NFC key, you just tap it here to turn on the ignition. Now coming to the screen, there are JBL modes, 13 JBL modes, so you can change those, and depending on which mode you are, the audio quality obviously changes, and it's actually quite nice. It also has Dolby Atmos, that's the AQI monitor. It has got mood light, which has multiple colors here, and then you can sync it to the drive mode, you can sync it to music as well, and there are multiple options. There are 5 pre-fed ones as well, the moods, so you can change that too. That's kind of nice. In fact, it also shows it from here. So right now the thing is, it's saying that the roof is not available because I have opened the sun blind. So it's very smart, this car somehow, which is quite interesting because this is not what I expected from Indian cars, but they are getting smarter day by day, which is fantastic. Now this particular screen has a lot of stuff. So there's auto park assist, there's custom terrain mode, which lets you configure a lot of things. There are 5 modes for the terrain, there are 4 drive modes, there are 4 region modes, there are 2 steering modes as well. So you can change all that as well. And then there's the arcade.ev, which has a ton of apps. So it's complimentary for the first 4 years, after which you have to pay rupees 5,499 to access all the freaking features here, or you can pay slightly less, I think 3,500 rupees for the mid-level pack for the connected car, or 2,000 rupees for the basic pack. So here you can do a lot of stuff. You can download these apps, you can check EV charging, you can calculate all this, and it has got something known as Drive Pay. This is a very nice thing because using this now, okay, unable to connect to the internet, which means that I have to go and do a process here, which is come into the settings. Where is the setting? Yeah, and turn on the Wi-Fi, which was turned on. I don't know why it keeps turning off the Wi-Fi all the time, maybe to save the internet. Obtaining IP address connected. Now let's come out and come to the menu we were in. So we'll come to Drive Pay. What it does is lets you pay from the car itself. No need to register for a new charger, no need to remove your phone or wallet or anything of that sort. Simply pay through the car itself, and you can find chargers here as well, which is fantastic. And then you can navigate using Map My India. So yes, they are progressing here, which is nice. Then there's obviously a game you can play. There are a lot of games you can play when it's charging. What do? You play a game obviously. So there is this Formula Rush. So Dolby Atmos is fantastic here. I mean, it's just amazing the way the whole sound stage happens. They are putting a lot of effort in just improving the overall experience, because obviously they have nothing to do with the performance. It's very standard. There's no instant torque, or there's no top end or high end or revving or sound or anything of that sort. In fact, you can open YouTube as well and watch videos. This is the Mahindra XEV 9E. First, let's unwrap it. There is this EV menu wherein you can see a lot of EV related parameters, including energy flow. You can plan your charging. There's vehicle to load, there's vehicle to vehicle. It has a 400-volt architecture, yet it allows you to do all that and more. Then there's this 540-degree camera. It has this transparent bonnet. There are multiple views here, but notice one thing, it shows you the number plate. So that's not cool. I mean, the camera position could be better. There are side views, there are front views, there are all those views, and there's obviously the 3D view, which works really nicely, and the car color is matching here, which is good attention to detail. I like it. But in case I turn on the light or apply the brakes, that is not visible here. You can see the ambient light right there. In fact, when I change the drive mode, this thing also changes color. So yeah, that's kind of cool the way it has been done. Look at that, it's become red in sport drive mode. However, I expected a slightly better QC on this car because, okay, there's a reflector here, but what is this? This is something which seems to be left after painting, because this is not spit or pan. Look at this. Yeah, this thing should not happen. And this footrest is nice, but then there should be a handle in the proper place to actually hold on to. And you know what? The door, I can punch it, it moves, but then in terms of safety, the car has done well. Enough of me yapping, let's start driving right away. Alright, let's start driving right away. There, it does this whole circular thing and all these animations come here. Straight away, I'm going to come into boost drive mode. We come into drive here and the handbrake gets down automatically. Oh, it automatically releases the parking brake as well, which is kind of fancy. So here we go. Does the parking camera work at these speeds? No. Yeah, it can actually. That's kind of cool. And look at this, okay? Tires screeching all the time, which is kind of crazy. The car does feel heavy, it does understeer quite a lot. And the funny part is there is actually a freaking drift mode here. I'm going to just come to it right now. Come on screen, you frustrate me. Drift mode is on right now, but does it drift? It does not. It's just understeering. They should call it the understeer mode, because this car simply does not drift, bro. So I'm very disappointed with the fact that it says drift mode but does not drift. Yeah, with drift mode it goes rear wheel drive, but Tata cars are dialed for having a lot of understeer, I think for safety reasons. Anyways, let's come into boost mode and answer the most important question: how fast it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, because it's the fastest Indian car. So here we are. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. Oh, that's quick. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.15 seconds. 120 kilometers per hour standing on the brakes. Brakes are actually good. But lot of tire screeching here, yeah. Lot of tire screeching. Yeah, the tires are EV centric tires, so not the best here. But around the corners, again, the tires screech quite a lot. Tires are always screeching. I'm not even on the throttle. Tires are still screeching as such. So the handling isn't good here at all. Yeah, I don't like the handling of this car because it feels heavy. The battery does weigh it down quite a lot, and the steering is not able to manage because it just feels out of place. I don't like the handling. It just so feels top heavy here. The battery has added a lot of weight, and the tires, well, they've also added a lot of lack of grip. They've not added a subtracted grip here, so that's a bit disappointing. But 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.15 seconds is fast. Tata actually claims that it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.3 seconds. So I managed to beat Tata Motors' time, and there's no slope here, so that's quite impressive here. Anyways, I have a few important things to talk about right now, like quality levels. They could be better here for sure. And when I mean better, they could be a lot better. So let's actually hit the highway. I don't know exactly where I'm going, so I'm just going to come into the navigation here and Google Maps. Come on. Yes, you are navigating me to the right direction. Come on. Now, I'll tell you what is the problem here. There are few problems. For starters, there is some exposed wire here around the accelerator, which is fine because it's inside the car. But behind the front radar, there are a lot of exposed wires, which is actually the wires of the ADAS system linked to the car. And anytime you go into water, that could really mess up with the ADAS system. So that's again not great. There's a USB-A here, which actually works for the wired Apple CarPlay. And I only use USB-C, so I'm a bit disappointed with that as well. Even the spare key of this car looks super cheap, is out of place on a car which costs 30 lakhs. And talking about 30 lakhs, well, right below the camera, there's a small opening. There's foam, which is not properly cut. It looks like a 3-year-old has cut that foam. So that's again not expected from a car of this price. Anyways, let me turn on the 360-degree parking camera because we just have to go straight only. Now let's quickly talk about the performance. Performance is actually the most impressive part of this car. There is no two ways about it. In fact, there are two layouts. There's a rear wheel drive. So by default, it's rear rear wheel drive, and there is a quad wheel drive, which is technically all wheel drive with dual motor setup. Rear wheel drive will obviously account for a majority of the sales. The rear wheel drive motor remains the same throughout, and with all wheel drive they add a front motor, and that's how this whole system works here. And trust me, this car feels fast. Now, it is also very capable off-road because ground clearance is around 200 mm, and it obviously has a lot of these features and modes to enable it to go off-road as well. Good approach angle, good departure angle, good breakover angle. In fact, sort of the best in class. Now, the rival is obviously the XEV 9e, which okay, here I could feel that, yeah. So the XEV is actually only rear wheel drive. Here we have quad wheel drive. Bhaiya, fast tag nahi hai. Okay, back on the road and off we go. Acceleration is really brisk here. Performance is super impressive because this one has the dual motor setup. So it has a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack. There's also the option of a smaller 65 kilowatt hour battery pack. Obviously, you pay more for the bigger battery pack, around 1.5 lakh rupees. So with the dual motor setup, you obviously get a front motor as well, but the rear motor is producing 238 PS of power, irrespective of whether you opt for the rear wheel drive motor or the all wheel drive motor. So the rear motor stays the exact same, but with the rear motor you do not get boost mode. Boost mode is available with the all wheel drive variant only, and it will give you boost throughout till the charge is up to 50%. So beyond, once it drops below 50%, the boost mode is not available only. So it's not technically boost mode, it is like super sport mode. What is the kind of speed it's doing? I am so freaking shocked. I didn't even realize it's at those speeds. This car is crazy fast. I honestly had no freaking clue that it has picked up so much pace all of a sudden. That's how quick this is. So the front motor is producing 158 PS of power, and combined it would be like 400 horsepower. No, that is not how it is calculated. Is the combined output. It is having LFP battery. All Tata EVs are having LFP batteries only, and this one has cylindrical cells, not prismatic cells. So there are 13 modules of 118 cells each, and like I was telling you, the 65 kilowatt hour battery pack that has 238 PS of power. What about the torque? 504 Newton meters. So actually 350 Newton meters goes to the rear wheels, but under boost mode it goes 340 Newton meters, which means that the rear wheel drive only variant has only 350 Newton meters of torque. Meanwhile, the torque at the front is 165 Newton meters. So it's not something which you can decide that, oh, you want power delivery at the rear wheels only. I think the drift mode does that. It gives you that constant boost, so it's a fast car. In fact, there are 6 freaking terrain modes, and Tata Motors is like, oh, why is the camera turned off? So Tata Motors is like, this car comes with lifetime battery warranty, which is amazing. And if you sell the car, the new owner also gets that lifetime warranty. Wow. They're focusing a lot on off-road here because that's something which has been missing from the Tata Motors stable since a long time. That's the reason this car has got 600 mm of water wading capacity as well. Boost mode is too freaking quick. I'll tell you what's the problem with this car. This car is so damn freaking fast now. It's out of control, and expect a lot of issues in terms of people hitting here and there because this car is not under control. It has way too much power that most of us can handle. It's also to do with the fact that the handling of this car is not great. The steering is just so lackluster, and every time you move around now, you can feel the body rotate here. There's a lot of roll. There's like considerable roll here, because of which every time you're like, okay, let me change the direction, and you can feel that, and then you have to kind of muscle this car, see how much it moves. So yeah, it's not very stable as such, but then I'm coming around the corner, I'm like, car, you take over, you manage that. So yeah, ADAS functions, they work really well. Lane departure warning coming there, saying keep hands on the steering wheel. So the ADAS functions, they work really well in this car. Settings cannot be updated at high speed. What's wrong with you? I think below 100 kilometers per hour, that works. Now it has something known as AVAS, which basically makes these sounds so that other people are alert of what's happening, and the car is so silent you don't hear it as such. But you hear a lot of the wind noise, you hear a lot of the tire noise as well, because obviously there is no engine sound as such, because there is no engine here. So that's something which you obviously hear. By the way, 1.2 lakhs more for the bigger battery, and you end up paying around 60,000 more for the bigger charger. So standard it comes with the 3.4 kilowatt hour charger. If you want a 7.2 kilowatt AC fast charger, you have to pay around 60,000 more, 49,000 ex-showroom, so that turns to 60,000 rupees. Now this car can obviously charge fast, 20 to 80% in 25 minutes, or you can add up to 250 kilometers of range in just 15 minutes. The top speed at which it can charge is 120 kilowatt, which is not really available everywhere. It's a 400 volt architecture, so obviously it's not having super fast charging capabilities. 120 kilowatt is fine because largely you are able to get charging speeds of approximately 60 kilowatt in most areas. Actually, it comes with 3.3 kilowatt, which takes 27 hours to juice up the battery from 0 to 100%, which is like more than a day. And with regular, say 7.2 kilowatt charging, it takes AC charging, it takes 10.7 hours to juice up the 75 kilowatt hour battery pack, or 9.3 hours to juice up the 65 kilowatt hour battery pack. So yeah, charging speeds are decent, not very fast here as such. It has got 50% gradability to go anywhere is what Tata says, and the claim range for this car, which is the 75 kilowatt hour, is 622 kilometers as per ARAI, but Tata is claiming around 480 to 500 kilometers. It actually shows more than 500 kilometers on 100% charge. So yes, because of the bigger battery pack, expect decent range here. Meanwhile, with the 75 kilowatt hour rear wheel drive, the claim range is 627 kilometers. So just 5 kilometers increase going from all wheel drive to rear wheel drive, and that's what Tata is claiming, that their QWD system here is so good that in spite of the front motor's weight and more power, more torque and all those things, the range does not decrease dramatically. And the smaller 65 kilowatt hour battery, that has a claim range of I think 538 kilometers ARAI. So in the real world, expect around 420. Now it has got ADAS, which also works for low speed crawling with AEB, and then it's using a compact gearbox which is like lighter by 30%, which actually brings me to the price of this car. It starts at rupees 23 lakhs for the base variant, and it goes all the way to 32.24 lakhs for the top end variant, which is the Stealth. Now this is not the Stealth, you pay 90k more, 90,000 more for the Stealth. This is actually the regular color, so you pay 31.33 lakhs for this. So this car has a similar pricing to the XEV. The only thing is the XEV is 1 lakh more expensive, which means Tata Motors is offering more value, and the XEV gets 11.2 kilowatt fast charging AC. However, for the 7.2 kilowatt charger, you pay around rupees 30,000 less. So it's just that 11.2 over 7.2 is not really helpful because our grid structure is such now, it's not really going to add any benefit there. But the real USP of this car over the regular Harrier diesel, why is it not turning on random? So the biggest USP of this car over the regular Harrier is the suspension, because it gets all independent suspension with frequency dependent dampers, and definitely the ride is much better here. It moves less, so it feels more comfortable. Low profile tires, 55 profile, that's fine, but the Harrier diesel, it gets a twist beam rear suspension, so it's not as good as this one. So I expect Tata Motors to update the Harrier ICE as well. The camera quality is not that great, it could be better. It's a bit laggy as well, so certain things definitely can be improved here, but the performance is something which just does not need improvement. It is absolutely phenomenal the way it pulls, and it pulls so hard and fast at times you're like, oh my god, I shouldn't be driving at this speed, but the car is pulling so crazy. It's just amazing. It's just seamless, instant torque and seamless pull throughout, which is phenomenal. Okay, I'll just change the dial view here and off we go. Thing is that you need all-wheel drive probably for such roads. No one's going to go off-roading, but yeah, you're going to go on such roads. Now there's too much reflection here, I don't know why, and even on these bad roads I can speed up a bit, because with the frequency dependent damping, it definitely feels much better in terms of ride quality when compared to the regular Harrier diesel, and the Harrier will obviously get a petrol engine soon as well. Now there are multiple regen modes. Using the pedals you can use it. There are 4 regen modes, so this is maximum regen. I leave the throttle and the car slows down. How much does it slow down? It slows down till 8 kilometers per hour and then starts crawling there, 7 kilometers per hour, 6. Come on, is it going to stop? No, it's not going to stop. So there's no one pedal driving as such, but then I can turn off regen completely. Big bumps and all, not an issue here. But what I truly feel is that Tata Motors has done a commendable thing with this car. They've put a lot of effort and it shows, but they need to address a few things. They need to address the quality. I know this is a different car now, you can see the color as well, otherwise this thing coming out is just not acceptable for a car of this price, firstly. Secondly, those small niggles, quality issues, they cannot be there in such an expensive car. So quality needs to be better, QC needs to be better, and you cannot do R&D on customers, period. Secondly, they also need to make sure that the car is reliable, because all the features on face value are fantastic, but when it comes to them working for longer duration of time, that's when issues crop in, and then customers are not very happy, which brings them to the service center, and the service center guys are just not able to address issues, which is the biggest problem with Tata cars at the moment. They're not able to make sure that their service is as good as their cars, and because of which customers get frustrated when problems are not solved. So these are the few things which Tata Motors really needs to work on. And now I'm driving in eco mode because that also has enough grunt, trust me. So no matter the mode you drive in, there's always that amount of thrust. Sport mode activated, let's go. Yeah, always has that grunt. But will boost mode work? Right now I am trying select mode disabled due to low SOC, state of charge. At 50% you're saying I cannot use boost. Just imagine I go to a race, I finish half the race, and the next part of the race I am like, oh my god, I continue tomorrow after I charge my car. That also brings me to the fact that the top speed of this car on the speedometer is 181 kilometers per hour. And what did I just see, bro? What is this? What is standing here? Yeah, a lot of XEVs I'm seeing. People are buying XEV. Oh, another one here. Is there a Mahindra showroom here by any chance? So there are more XEVs on the road than the BEs or B6Es, because clearly, sorry, BE6. I get confused. Because clearly people are choosing practicality over style. Now let me know in the comment section below, which car would you choose? The BE6, the XEV 9e, or the Harrier EV? Because now Indian car brands have started to really cook when it comes to electric vehicles, because with EVs now it's much easier to make something more powerful. Imagine Tata giving us this level of performance with diesel or petrol. It's just impossible. It just cannot happen. And not just with Tata, even Porsche's most powerful car, the Taycan Turbo, is actually what? An EV. It's not the internal combustion engine car. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. And don't forget to check out this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve Superman. Yes, this guy is the real deal, not that Bollywood actor who, I mean, whatever. Bye.